What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan. Happy Saturday. And in this video, we're going to do 5 reasons people get into nootropics. For the specific reasons that people get into nootropics, I'm going to give some suggestions on which nootropic to take. This is going to be awesome. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Check us out on the web at livecortex.com, at livecortex.com/blog, giant blog for nootropics information. Facebook at facebook.com/cortexstacks. We got killer stuff. We always post specials there. All of our content goes there. Check us out on Facebook. Like us. Become a part of the party, man. Become a part of the party. Facebook.com/Ryan Michael Bao. That's my own personal page. We've got 6 powerful products that support the broadcast. Let's get into them.
Powerful nootropic products.
Number 1, the Cortex Nootropic Stack. Powerful pre-made stack. I was running a company 18 hours a day and taking a combination of the ingredients that we eventually put in Cortex to have sales ability, to have verbal fluency, to have mental energy. Basically, I was crushing it. 18 hours a day running a company with one stack. We put it in a pre-made stack. It's called Cortex. Motivation, mental energy, basically everything in one stack. It is called Cortex. Think of it, Cortex. 27 bucks right now. Hey, it is essential that we move tons of Cortex right now because of a re-up coming up, so now it's down to 27 bucks. It'll be that way for a little bit, ending pretty soon. Get a bottle, get 2, get 3, livecortex.com. We've got 5 digital stack lists. They're digital downloadable guides that give you very, very powerful expert level nootropic stacks. You only get access to them if you buy them. They're very cheap and they're all 20% off right now. Okay, links are in the description below. So, 5 reasons that people get into nootropics. I'm going to suggest nootropic stacks to take for those 5 reasons. Number 1 is chronic disease. Chronic disease. Whether it's fibromyalgia, which is like essentially a disease that affects muscle fibers, which I think is brought on by oxidative stress and a few other things, has a lot to do with gut bacteria, or it's chronic fatigue syndrome, which is sort of a cousin of fibromyalgia, which in some cases could be brought on by gut bacteria and endotoxins released by those gut bacteria. It could be brought on by any number of things. There's many things that mimic chronic fatigue syndrome, like low aldosterone, which is a hormone that holds on to salt. You know, if you're peeing all your salt out and you're not getting salt and you're worried about the guidelines that say, oh, only get 3 grams of sodium, like you're gonna pee out all your salt, you know, a lot of your salt, you're gonna feel crappy all the time. No amount of rest is gonna help you when you don't have the right amount of salt in your body. When the electrolyte balance is awry, you know, you can't recover. You can't recover from workouts and stuff. That's been demonstrated. And so it all depends on the situation. For something like chronic fatigue syndrome, that has to do with mitochondrial dysfunction from potentially heavy metal toxicity or toxicity from bacterial endotoxins that you might have in your small intestine or whatever. Alpha lipoic acid is the best nootropic for that period, right? I mean, ALA has been shown to do any number of things from regenerate, you know, liver function in people with like acute liver failure, you know, to substantially help people, that combined with other antioxidants who have chronic fatigue syndrome, okay? So ALA and 300 to 600 milligrams would be my best bet, my best suggestion on folks with actual chronic fatigue syndrome characterized by mitochondrial dysfunction. And then there's also thyroid disease, blood sugar issues, etc. For blood sugar problems, you might want to look at piracetam. Piracetam has some positive effects on lowering blood sugar, so that's something significant to look at. That is number 1, chronic disease. Number 2, lack of sleep. Lack of sleep. That's a huge reason people get into nootropics. And I want to just say this first. It isn't particularly smart to go, oh, I'm going to take nootropics and not target the sleep problem. You know, folks go, I can't sleep, I'm not sleeping. And they're not really doing a whole lot to fix it. They just kind of rely on their doctors to say, all right, well, you know, here's some modafinil or whatever. You got to work on the sleep problem. And I don't want folks to think like I don't understand how terrible their sleep problem is. I've had some significantly bad sleep problems and I fixed them largely, okay? It took a while. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes, you know, it takes wherewithal psychologically. You got to keep pushing. You got to figure it out. But that's one of the reasons folks get into it. Modafinil, right? The Cortex stack totally changes people's productivity after they didn't sleep. You know, makes them able to be productive. Oxiracetam, you know, one of the major focus racetams, very powerful for resuscitating the brain after sleep-induced cognitive dysfunction. The AACT stack, you know, the famous AACT stack that I essentially devised, very powerful stack, simple stack, Alcar, Alpha, GPC, caffeine, theanine. Google the AACT stack, read about it. That's a great stack to use when you haven't slept well. Number 3, productivity increases. Productivity increases. This is what we see a lot in the our consulting service. We do a consulting service where it's a 40-minute call with me, 15 additional email correspondences. It's Nootropics Consulting. We consult a lot of executives. We have higher level, bigger packages for folks within the enterprise on Nootropics where we consistently work with people. And that's what they are into Nootropics for. You got a CFO who needs to improve performance, a CBDO, Chief Business Development Officer, who needs to improve, business development deals, get more people in the pipeline for an enterprise to pitch, to sell their software to, or whatever. And so they're taking modafinil, they're taking tyrosine, they're taking Cortex, they're taking CONSULTATIONS in a lot of cases. They're taking everything under the sun for productivity and performance increases. Number 4, there's a big one: recovery from pharmaceutical drugs. Recovery from pharmaceutical drugs. There's a CAT study. I'll put the CAT study on the screen. But then there's a bunch of other research that I've done on this that demonstrates that benzodiazepines particularly reduce the rate of release of acetylcholine, a particular neurotransmitter. And when this happens, based on looking at how the cholinergic system and acetylcholine as a neurotransmitter works, you'll have memory deficits. You're going to have performance deficits. You're going to have focus deficits. You'll probably have verbal fluency deficits. As a result, you'll have motivation deficits. Massive deficits. Those are 5 major deficits of what makes a person functional in the realm of productivity. Right? So people coming from benzodiazepine use for such a long time get into nootropics because they help them, and particularly ones that optimize acetylcholine, and those are a lot of them, most of them, racetams, Noopept, etc. So that is number 4, recovery from pharmaceutical drugs. Number 5 is allure, okay? Nootropics are alluring. Modafinil is alluring, right? People talk about, like, now the Cortex stack is so pervasive out there in the world. Pro poker players take it, real estate people take it, business people. Every day we get emails from someone that says, hey, I was talking about your stack to somebody and they were like, man, that is cool, that sounds awesome. And then they went and bought it and now their brain is functioning awesomely. Allure, right? It's alluring. Limitless, the movie, right, with Bradley Cooper, where he takes this pharmaceutical compound, turns his brain on, it's totally awesome, and he's got good brain function. And then he can go out and do great things. He goes out and kills it and becomes like a Wall Street trader or something, does really well, substantially well monetarily, takes over the whole deal, builds a lab, locks some of the neurological gains in from the nootropic compound because he got so smart from taking it. It's alluring, right? And so folks get into it because it's alluring, it's exciting, and they're normal. They don't have brain performance deficits. They just want to function really awesomely, and so they get into racetams, get into modafinil, get into Cortex, get into CONSULTATIONS, get into alpha brain, get into some of their pre-made stacks, get into uridine, and then their brains start rocking. Those are the top 5 reasons people that I found people get into nootropics. They're sure there are others, but these really hit home. When I look at the spectrum of people that we deal with on a consulting basis, that we deal with just in interacting with all you cool folks here on the YouTube channel and on our website at livecortex.com, it's always these 5 things. Thanks so much for watching. On the web right now at livecortex.com, we got to keep pushing it. 20% off everything. So this is a weekend. You're seeing this video on a Saturday. Go to livecortex.com, buy some Nootropics gear, get yourself a bottle of Cortex or 2, get some digital stack lists that teach you how to use Nootropics, give you very powerful stacks. Get the Nootropics starter pack if you're new to Nootropics. It's going to blow your mind, gives you everything you need, and a bottle of Cortex. Everything's 20% off right now. Thanks for watching.
My name is Ryan Michael Ballo. For 6 years, my sole mission has been to improve the performance of my brain. This is why I created Cortex. My mission was to build a nootropic stack that gave me extreme focus, powerful motivation, and a heightened cognitive state. And after years of experimentation and a comprehensive beta testing protocol, and putting together the most powerful nootropic compounds on the planet, I found what I was looking for.
What's up, everybody? Ryan Michael Ballo here. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Look, we've got, as it stands, 5 primary products that I want to just explain to you. You heard us mention them during the video, so I'm going to break them down. Number 1, from left to right, the Cortex Nootropic Stack. This is a cognitive enhancement stack that you really want to take to turn the lights on. Just to give you an idea, hardcore business folks that require 18 to 20 hours of brain function
take the Cortex stack. That's what we initially designed it for, but then like everybody in the nootropic sphere loved it. Verbal fluency, speed of processing, motivation, drive to want to work. That's what the Cortex stack does. Moving right along, the aniracetam guide there, that is called the Beginner's Guide to Aniracetam, breaks down 25 powerful aniracetam stacks, shows you how to use aniracetam. It's essentially the everything guide to aniracetam. Long demanded, folks asked us for it, we delivered. It is fully digital, lots of powerful stacks. And then there's the nootropic stack for the business professional. That's basically 100, right around 100 powerful uridine, modafinil, theacrine, aniracetam, oxiracetam, phenylpiracetam, alcar stacks for business situations, for the type of brain states that business folks need for sustained performance. Next is the racetam God Guide. That is a high-level every racetam guide, digital guide. We've got all the major racetams with accompanying focus stacks and memory stacks and speed of processing stacks. In that racetam. There's 8 major nootropic racetams, and that guide explains all of them and accompanying stacks. Then there's the NooPep Pro Stack List. The NooPep Pro Stack List is a digital guide that explains oral, so just taking it by mouth, sublingual, taking it under the tongue, and then intranasal, spraying NooPep nasal spray in your nose, stacks. It's just a bunch of stacks, a giant stack list of NooPep stacks that are highly effective, pro-level, specific brain state inducing type of NooPep stacks. That thing has been a hit out there with the market. And then last, there's Smarter, Better, Faster. Smarter, Better, Faster is the all-around, everything nootropics digital guide. If you just want to learn everything, many racetams, modafinil, etc., get Smarter, Better, Faster. It's like the guide you need to know if you're new to nootropics, to learn basically everything and to walk away knowing what you need to know on nootropics. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Get this stuff at livecortex.com and rock on.